She's watching, but she will never reach out. Here's why. Imagine a life where you are not swayed by the actions of others, where your peace isn't shaken by the ups and downs of the world around you. A life where you find joy not in external achievements, but within yourself. What if the key to lasting happiness lies not in controlling everything, but in mastering how you respond to life? Today we are going to explore timeless principles that will help you cultivate inner strength, wisdom, and freedom, the very foundations of a truly fulfilled and joyful life. Stay with me, because your journey toward lasting peace begins now. Number 1. Acceptance of nature's course. Life is a constant flow, an unceasing current that we can neither stop nor control. How often do we find ourselves frustrated when things don't unfold the way we want them to? We work hard, we plan, we hope, and yet the universe seems to have a different idea. It's easy to get lost in the belief that we are the masters of our fate, but the reality is that there are forces beyond our control. The sooner we accept this, the more peace we invite into our lives. We are not in charge of everything. We cannot dictate how others act, nor can we force outcomes. The person you hope will reach out to you, or the opportunity you wait for, may never come. It's not a personal failure, it's simply the way life is. This is the natural course of events. When we stop fighting against the current and begin to trust the flow, something extraordinary happens. We find peace. Now pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a river. The water moves with a force you can't control, but instead of fighting against it, you choose to follow its path. In that simple choice, you unlock a sense of freedom and release. When you accept that not everything is within your grasp, you open the door to living in harmony with life's rhythm. It's not about resignation. It's about embracing what is and finding joy even when things don't go as planned. This acceptance doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It allows you to grow, to respond thoughtfully, and to find happiness in every situation. We are not victims of fate. We are empowered to find peace in the chaos. Number 2, emotional detachment. Imagine for a moment how often you find yourself wrapped up in the emotions of others. Someone ignores your message, or perhaps a close friend disappoints you. In these moments, it's easy to become consumed by frustration, anger, or sadness. Your happiness starts to hinge on their actions, their responses, and their decisions. But what if I told you there's another way? A way to detach from these emotional roller coasters and reclaim your peace. Emotional detachment isn't about indifference or coldness. It's about regaining control over your emotional well-being. It's about realizing that your happiness doesn't have to be determined by anyone else's actions. When you let the emotions of others dictate your state of mind, you give away your power. Your inner peace becomes conditional, fragile, and easily shaken. Take a moment to reflect on the things that truly bring you happiness. Is it the love and approval of others? Or is it something deeper? Something within you? True happiness is self-sustained. It comes from within, not from the external validation or actions of those around us. Emotional detachment means recognizing this truth and choosing to no longer be at the mercy of someone else's behavior. Let me reset your focus. Picture yourself standing firm, unshaken by the chaos around you. You observe, but you don't react. The world spins and people come and go, but your happiness is anchored within, untouched by the storms. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you choose where to invest your emotional energy wisely. Living this way doesn't mean you care less. It means you care more about your own peace. Detaching from the emotional drama of others allows you to preserve your joy, your serenity, and your power to live a truly fulfilling life. Number 3, The power of self-control. In a world full of distractions, pressures, and constant demands, the one thing you can truly control is yourself. You cannot control how others act or what the future holds, but you have the ability to govern your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. This is the cornerstone of a life well lived, a life filled with strength, peace, and true happiness. Let's pause for a moment and think about the last time you felt overwhelmed. Perhaps someone disappointed you, or a situation didn't go the way you expected. How did you respond? Often our first reaction is to let emotions take the wheel. We lash out, we react impulsively, and we let our peace slip away. But what if you chose to respond differently? What if, instead of reacting, you took a step back and allowed yourself the space to choose a calm, thoughtful response? This is the power of self-control. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about mastering your reactions. It's about realizing that your happiness doesn't have to be contingent on external events or other people's behavior. You have the ability to choose how you respond to life's challenges, and in that choice lies your freedom. Picture yourself in a difficult situation. The world around you is chaotic, but you remain calm, centered, and steady. You don't let the external turmoil shake you because you know that you have the strength to control your inner state. This is the essence of self-control. It doesn't mean you're immune to life's difficulties. It means that you have the wisdom to choose how to navigate them. When you begin to harness the power of self-control, you free yourself from being a slave to circumstance. You take the reins of your own happiness and start to live a life that is truly yours, one where your peace is not defined by the chaos around you. Number 4, understanding limitations of others. We all have expectations of those around us, whether it's from family, friends, or colleagues. We hope that others will act a certain way, that they'll be there when we need them, or that they'll behave according to our desires. But here's the truth that can set you free. People have their own limitations. They are not always capable of fulfilling the roles we've imagined for them. Take a moment to reset your attention. Think about the people in your life. Now ask yourself, how often do you hold others to standards they cannot meet? It's not out of malice, it's simply a reflection of their own experiences, their own struggles, and their own journey. Everyone is carrying their own burdens, and it's important to recognize that not everyone has the ability to give you what you need when you need it. This doesn't mean that others don't care about you or that their actions are a reflection of your worth. It simply means that their capacity to give, to understand, or to act is limited by their own emotional, mental, and physical resources. They too are navigating life's challenges in their own way. The more you can understand and accept this, the less you will be disappointed when others do not meet your expectation. We often find ourselves disappointed because we expect others to operate the way we do, or to offer us something they simply cannot. But once you understand the limitations of others, you stop holding them to impossible standards. You begin to free yourself from the cycle of disappointment and frustration. Your peace no longer hinges on what others can or cannot do for you. This is the path to true freedom. The understanding that your happiness doesn't need validation from others. You learn to appreciate people for who they are, not for what they can provide. In doing so, you step into a life of deeper fulfillment and greater peace. Number 5, impermanence of external factors. Life is in constant motion. The people around you, your circumstances, and even the material possessions you hold dear, they are all temporary. Change is the only true constant. Understanding the impermanence of external factors is one of the most powerful realizations you can make in your pursuit of happiness. Take a moment to reset your focus. Reflect on how much time you've spent chasing things outside of your control. whether it's the approval of others, achieving a certain status, or holding on to fleeting material possessions. Now, ask yourself, does any of this truly bring lasting fulfillment? More often than not, the answer is no. We place our happiness on things that, by their very nature, cannot last. People change, circumstances shift, and possessions wear out. Nothing external can ever offer the stability and permanence we seek for our happiness. When we tie our happiness to external factors, we inevitably set ourselves up for disappointment. If your happiness depends on a person's behavior or a particular outcome, you are at the mercy of forces beyond your control. But when you understand the impermanence of these external factors, you stop relying on them for your emotional stability. You begin to seek happiness from within, from your inner peace, your values, and your ability to navigate change with grace. Imagine standing firm in the middle of a storm, knowing that it will pass. The winds may howl and the rain may pour, but you remain grounded because you know the storm is temporary. The same applies to life. External challenges, though they may seem overwhelming in the moment, are fleeting. When you recognize this, you begin to focus less on what's beyond your control, and more on cultivating an inner peace that remains steady, no matter what the outside world brings. This is the path to true happiness. Number 6. Virtue as the sole good. In a world constantly bombarded by distractions, fleeting pleasures, and societal pressures, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We're taught from a young age to chase success, accumulate wealth, and seek external validation. But what if I told you that true happiness doesn't come from any of these things? What if I told you that the only true good in life is virtue itself? Take a moment to reset your thinking. Think of someone you admire, someone who seems content and at peace with their life. Do they rely on the approval of others to feel validated? Do they tie their worth to their possessions or achievements? Most likely, the people who live with deep, lasting happiness are those who have embraced virtue as their guiding principle. They focus on being honest, kind, courageous, and wise, not because it leads to rewards or accolades, but because it is simply the right way to live. Virtue is the foundation of a life well lived. It is not dependent on circumstances or external recognition. When you live with integrity, with a clear sense of right and wrong, you operate from a place of inner strength. Your actions become aligned with your values, and in doing so you experience the peace that comes from knowing you are living authentically. Virtue doesn't guarantee wealth or fame, but it guarantees something far more important: inner peace and joy. By shifting your focus from chasing external accomplishments to cultivating inner virtue, you begin to build a life that no one can take away from you. Your happiness becomes self-sustained, rooted in your character rather than fleeting achievements. True success, the kind that brings lasting fulfillment, is the result of living virtuously, not of collecting accolades or possessions. This is the power of virtue. It is the one thing that will always remain, no matter what life brings your way. Number 7. Freedom from expectation. How often do you find yourself disappointed or frustrated because things didn't go the way you expected? We've all been there, waiting for someone to reach out, hoping for a particular outcome, or anticipating life to unfold in a specific way. And yet, when things don't match our expectations, we're left feeling empty, upset, or even betrayed. But here's the liberating truth: expectations are the root of much of our suffering. Let's pause for a moment. Think about your own life. How many times have you expected something to happen, only to find yourself disappointed when it didn't? The expectation that someone will act a certain way, or that life will play out as you imagined, sets you up for emotional turmoil. By tying your happiness to these expectations, you give away your peace to something outside your control. It's like waiting for a storm to pass, but you're not sure when it will end. It leaves you anxious, constantly waiting for things to align with your vision. Freedom from expectations is a choice. It's about releasing the need for things to be a certain way and instead accepting life as it comes. When you let go of rigid expectations, you open yourself to the beauty and surprise of the present moment. Life becomes an unfolding journey rather than a set path to be followed. Imagine for a second the freedom you would feel if you stopped anticipating every turn and simply allowed things to be as they are. You wouldn't be disappointed by others' actions, and you wouldn't be devastated when life doesn't go according to plan. The key to true happiness lies in releasing these expectations. By embracing whatever comes, you free yourself from the chains of disappointment and frustration, and you begin to live with a peace that is unshaken by life's unpredictable nature. Expect less, and you'll find more joy in the little things. In embracing the wisdom of these principles, accepting the course of life, detaching emotionally, exercising self-control, understanding others' limitations, recognizing the impermanence of external factors, valuing virtue, and freeing ourselves from expectations, you unlock the path to a life of true happiness. It's not in chasing outcomes or external validation that we find peace, but in cultivating an inner strength and wisdom that remains unshaken. May you live with purpose, joy, and unwavering peace. Thank you for your time and attention, and good luck on your journey toward a more fulfilling, happy life.